participants, Rani will, my colleague Rani, so she will show the DNA binding problem, okay, with you all
Okay,
in
can
the
you see
virtual
the
Chem
window
Connect.
now?
Yes, yes, yeah. Please increase the window size a little bit. Yeah.
So we will go to file, and if this is a short demonstration, so if you like to practice along with me, please feel free. We'll click on file, load homework, check chemical equilibrium, and notice the DNA binding problem. Click on OK, and we will see the problem description. Click on it. We all know that DNA has 4 bases. It has a phosphate backbone. It has purine and pyrimidine bases. AT form a base pair. GC forms a base pair. The picture that you see on the window in the problem description is that of a classic DNA with the base pairs shown here. And sometimes instead of A and T, A and C, A and G can also form base pairs. And it is very often that is the case in real biology. And in this problem, we will see how to find the delta G of a reaction. We will see how to find the equilibrium constant. Say we take an adenine and a thymine, and we will see that we will mix them together and see that it forms through hydrogen bonding, it forms a complex. And AT and GC, AT has 2 hydrogen bonds, whereas GC has 3 hydrogen bonds, which we can see here. So I will demonstrate it now. Let's go back to the workbench. Is everyone with me? Do you need more time? Should I wait? So first we will make an AT complex. So I will take a deoxyadenine monophosphate, which is A basically, and then we will take T. I'll take both of this. So what we will be doing here is to show a reaction as represented here. A plus B is going to AB. That is the reaction that we will be studying and find the equilibrium constant. So here it is A and T going to AT with 2 hydrogen bonds. So the K, the equilibrium constant, is defined here as the concentration of AT divided by the concentration of the 2 reactants. So each of these bottles have 100 ml each at 0.1 molar concentration. These 2 are given to us. So we will get a beaker, and I will get a 250 ml beaker. From here, I will add say 50 ml of A. So here we have 50 ml of A in this beaker, and then I will add an equal volume of T. So another 50. So now we notice that in this beaker there are several species because we are forming a complex. The concentration of free A, adenosine, has gone down. Free T has gone down because this has formed a complex of AT. The concentration in moles is given here. The starting was 0.1, and in this, when the complex has been formed, the individual concentration and that of the complex is given here. So we can now easily calculate the equilibrium constant and the delta G. So for this we will use the standard equation. We will say delta G is equal to minus RT ln K, where R is the gas constant, T is the temperature, and K is the equilibrium constant. Is everyone following me? Should I repeat? Okay. So here, okay, I will show till here so that there is no confusion. So this concentration of the complex we obtained from this value here. Individuals are given here in moles. If you choose to use millimoles, we have to multiply this number by 1000, all the three, which will make it 1.6 each of A and T, and 48.4 millimoles of AT. So K we already know is the ratio, and we can calculate K. So we can plug in the values. This is at 25 degrees Celsius, which means 298 Kelvin, which means that for the equation here, delta G is equal to RT ln K. We know R as 8.314, T is 298 in Kelvin. We cannot use Celsius. K we have found by our calculation. We will take the logarithm of that and we can calculate the delta G. So the stabilizing factor for the complex formation is that of forming the hydrogen bonds between A and T. AT has 2 hydrogen bonds. GC has 3 hydrogen bonds and it is much more stable. So the Gibbs free energy difference can be calculated. So often than not in biology, in real life, we will have other base pairing also, such as AC or TC, which we can calculate what is their free energy change, what is their equilibrium constant. We will do one of the other examples too. Let's go back to VLAB's interface. So I will put these aside. We will take C. We will take G base, guanine and cysteine. Often cysteines are methylated and not seen as cysteines, which are once methylated, they become biologically relevant. We will take a beaker, add. We don't need to add 50 ml, we can add 10 ml or 1 ml also. And we notice that it is 0.1 molar and this is a pH 7. This is not an acidic environment. Now we will take G base and add an equal volume. Actually, you may experiment and check what happens when you add slightly 10 ml by 10 ml and see how the concentration changes. So that way we can do a titration reaction as well in this. Here I am showing you once the binding has plateaued, when it is in equilibrium. And here we notice that due to tight binding, very less of C and G remains free in solution and more of Cg bonded base pair is seen here. We can add some P base to this and see if this will disturb the equilibrium, right? Let me add a 50 ml of T. Now, notice that we have several species in the solution. The pH is still 7 because all our starting materials are buffered at 7. C and G. However, the amount of Cg has changed. The T has bonded, partly it has bonded with C and part of it with G, but which is in very low amount in micromolar range. So they do exist. It's not that, and for these, there are different base pairing schemes such as Hooke-Steen, reverse Watson-Crick, and other base pairing scheme. The standard bDNA base pairing scheme will be that of the classical Watson and Crick. So for a structural biology or an advanced biology class, we can show these and see how the base pairing can stabilize. What are the different forms of base pairing that can come in these systems? We can also do one more example. So I will select all of this and delete. I will start afresh. One of the examples given here is, we will do that, A plus CT, which forms AT plus C. So this is like if it will displace, we will do that experiment. So I have taken A, I will take C base, and we will take C base. We will also get a new beaker. Is everyone following me? Any questions? We will add 50 ml of cytosine solution. We will add 50 ml of T. Now let's see what's the resulting solution, which has CT. So this is formed as CT base pairing scheme. So this is not a classical Watson and Crick base pairing, and the resulting concentrations are also given to you from by VLabs, which is very easy. We don't have to do other measurements. VLabs gives it to us, and we will add some A base and see what happens to this equilibrium, how we can shift the equilibrium, what are the species that will be formed in the solution, and so on. So let's see what are the species that can be seen at this point. Notice that now AT is the prominent base pairing scheme. AC and CT is also seen at very low amounts at micromolar level. Free A, free T, and free C bases can also be seen. There is a question, can we study the effect of temperature and concentration also on hydrogen bonding? This is something we cannot do at this point, I feel. We can try. So, because concentration cannot, concentration can be changed actually. We have water, so we can do. Let's say 50 degrees Celsius. Yes, there are changes. So for example, let's take a new beaker. Let's keep this aside. We can find this by experiment as to what will happen at this to the solution. Right?
Yes, actually, Murugesan, yeah, the possibilities are endless. You can yourself explore and then see what all will happen. Now you are, you can do so many experiments yourself and then you can find out.
So note down the values. The value is at here 4.83, and now let's increase the temperature to say 50 degrees, and it has changed, it has reduced, and let us increase it further. Let's say 70 degrees, and it has further decreased. So we can do these kind of experiments. In fact, we will make it 90, but so we can see a change, but I doubt whether it will say as 80 at 95 degrees Celsius. So I'm not sure why it is showing so.
Rani, I think these are all very programmed. I think they're not programmed. When if you are increasing the temperature to show the exact experimental results. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
from our
Yeah.
equation that we showed, the T changes and the K is kept constant. So in real life, in test tube, we will have more variability.
Yes, that is true. That's true.
So these things can be done. So to answer, does it answer the question? Disturbance is hydrogen bonding disturbance. All right. Any further questions?
Okay, I think they're okay.
All right, lunchtime.
Yeah, lunchtime. Yeah, that's why. So maybe they'll come back and ask questions, Rani. So Rani is available afternoon also. So you can ask her more questions post lunch discussion. Okay. Yeah.
So we'll break for lunch now and come back at 2 o'clock so that Rani can answer some more questions. Quickly have your lunch and come back at 2. We'll join again.
Thank you.
Thank you for this session.